good to see you. I'm Laura Papetti, and we begin with this. Spokane Valley firefighters battled a house fire earlier today. More than a dozen fire trucks and law enforcement were on scene. KREM 2's Nathan Hyun was there this morning and spoke with a neighbor.
We first arrived to the house behind us around 6 a.m. When we first arrived, we saw the roof of the house engulfed in flames and smoke, and the Spokane Valley Fire Department and Spokane County Fire extinguished the flames within an hour. At 6:01 a.m., the Spokane County Fire District 9 responded to an active house fire on Columbia Drive north of Millwood. They came with a full complement of resources, including sheriff, fire trucks, and an ambulance. They noted a fire started in the attic, and through fighting the fire, they were able to extinguish it within an hour.
There was a like a pop, 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 and I look out the window, and the house is on fire. The whole roof, well, the side of next to our house is all on fire.
They remained on scene to investigate while extinguishing hotspots, and we know that there were no injuries to anyone or injuries to any firefighters. So investigators are still on scene here trying to figure out what the cause of the fire was. They'll be here for the next couple of hours. In Spokane, Nathan Hyun, KREM 2 News.
In a big development out of Coeur dAlene, the City Council approved the massive Coeur development last night. So here's what we know right now. 440 acres will be annexed into the city for the $2.5 billion project. Developers say Coeur will be built in phases over the next 3 decades. Plans include building a police station, 2 new schools, and 2,800 housing units at various price levels. 5% of the housing will be dedicated to the area's workforce. During public comment, neighbors voiced their concerns about the project's high density. However, some people welcome the growth for the local economy.
But it's going to be a zoo, and I just hope we think this through. And it's going to be a long-term effect. It's not just tomorrow. It's not next year. It's where my kids are going to grow up. My grandkids are going to grow up.
We repeatedly hear that many of our existing businesses can't fill vacant positions because employees can't find homes. The Coeur project helps with this challenge through a 20-plus year build-out of a master planned community that not only helps us address our future housing needs, but also our future infrastructure improvements.
Council members say they understand the concerns, certainly, but they are thinking about the needs of the community now and in the future. They say the city has a housing shortage and there needs to be more affordable housing available. The development is expected to generate more than $4 million in sales and tax revenue as well. Well, it is shaping up to be one of the warmest days of the year so far, so let's head over to Thomas Patrick and get a check on the weather.
Good luck finding any cloud cover once again today. Just perfectly sunny skies across the entirety of the Pacific Northwest. Closest storm system was the atmospheric river that hit California yesterday, and even that is continuing eastward. So we are in for just another picture perfect blue sky day today. Sunshine every single minute until sunset later on today. And our temperatures should get up into the upper 50s and perhaps even close to 60 degrees in some areas. Of course, central Washington, the Tri-Cities will be pushing 60s for today. 58 will still make for the warmest day of the year thus far. However, heading into this weekend and the latter part of the month, will start to trend a bit cooler for the region. Perhaps even cold enough for some lower elevation snow by the weekend. So coming up, we're going to detail a much more active Friday and weekend forecast. So that's all coming up in a couple minutes.
Tonight, the Spokane School Board will vote to join the Washington State School vaping litigation. The vaping litigation is part of more than 5,000 lawsuits against Juul Labs. If approved, SPS could receive about $1 million after the settlement. The lawsuits argue that Juul Labs intentionally marketed its vaping products to teens and deceived customers about the addictiveness of vaping. A statement from Spokane Public Schools said, quote, Spokane Public Schools welcome the opportunity to participate in this lawsuit as one way to combat the negative impact vaping has caused in our school communities. We want to do as much as possible to prevent addiction, provide a sense of safety for students, and minimize disruption to the school day. To date, SPS has spent a little over $100,000 on vape detection technology. That money would be reimbursed by settlement funds. talking about schools. We're following some developments in the Coeur d'Alene School District's push to put a $25 million levy back on the ballot coming up in May. Now, you may remember that levy failed last week. So we sat down with Superintendent Sean Hawker to talk about impacts of the levy failing and the potential next steps.
We've got to do double planning. We have to plan as if we don't have a budget, that $20 million next year. So we are in the process of working through those budget cuts. We have obviously reduction in force procedures and practices to implement. So as you can imagine, it's incredibly difficult to have conversations with over 300 employees that they likely won't have a position if the levy does not pass.
Hawker says in addition to jobs on the line, extracurricular activities would also have to be reconsidered. If the levy fails, he says the school would lose 25% of its operating budget. Now, opponents to the levy say they have concerns about how the district is managing its budget. The levy is expected to go back up for a vote coming up May 16th.